had pretty good turnout last live. I was just reviewing that, but I went down to Village of North Collins Board of Trustees meeting, and yeah, after listening to that, I got some things I want to talk about. This goes out to all you so-called public servants. You know, supposed to be for the greater the public good. You know, the safety of the general public that are stonewalling. You know, refusing to provide records over and over again. Not coming to the table, seeking to mitigate the damage that you caused. You know, which should be one of your primary functions. You know, people are making accusations of felony crimes that you committed. You think you'd want to come to the table and be like, oh, wait a minute, let's see if we can work this out. And so far to this point in time, that hasn't happened. So it's gonna take some criminal liability to to bring you to your senses. Make you realize that I'm not playing here. You can't change the things that have happened, but you can try to minimize the damage that it's going to cause you and your corporation. And I'm talking to Erie County Sheriff's Office, New York State Police, Village of Gowanda Police Department, Village of North Collins Police Department, Erie County Sheriff's Office, and I say them, I'll say them again. Town of North Collins, Village of North Collins, Town of Collins, all you motherfuckers. Where's your public relations officers? You have nothing to say, about the accusations that I've made. You're not aware of this channel, that I've aired this on a public forum. Well, I find that hard to believe. I really do. And you not saying anything, really, it shines negatively. Any attempts that you might make, that this is an honest mistake, or some shit like that, When come to the table, what's it gonna take? What's it gonna take? They gotta bring a RICO, motherfuckers, All you gotta do is cash in those surety bonds, What's the deal? I went to Village North Collins Board of Trustees meeting. I haven't heard nothing. This goes out to you too, Richard Schaus. Richard Schaus, the Village North Collins and Town of North Collins attorney. You don't have my phone number? Write me a fucking letter in the mail. What's your problem? I got you on record too saying, the only result of a trial, is going to be you having to pay some fines and things like that. Really? Is that the purpose of a trial? Just to force me to pay fines, or is it to find the truth of the matter? Did you forget what you're even supposed to be pretending to do? Garcia, Erie County Sheriff. What's your deal? You never heard of me? Yeah, I find it hard to believe. Well, what about your fucking lieutenants? That haven't read the law. They think, Lieutenant Lewick tells me, he'll kick somebody's door in if they don't go to a municipal court, over it could be a failure to use a turn signal. If they don't, report for you to commit fraud against them, you're going to kick their fucking door in? Really? Can you show me that law? Can you show me that law? What we got here? What's up, Smoky Burnout? Pracky, hello. I can see your comment. I got 2 comments there. I can see them. The point of this video. Thank you for your input. I'm looking for input from I'm looking to hear from my enemies too. And if you're watching this, if you're not watching this, wake the fuck up. Well, where the fuck have you been? This has been going on for years now. If you are watching this, this is a warning bell for you to come to the table, to seek to mitigate the damages? Who is your public relations officer? What do you have to say about the accusations that I've made about the felony crimes that you've committed against me and continue to commit by withholding the records, of the crimes you committed? At least try to lie to the people that fund your sorry asses, and come to the fucking table, before you're on trial for the crime, for crimes that you committed. I weathered the storm of your fraud in the kangaroo courts, and it's time to pay the piper. I'm not going anywhere, and you wonder why you haven't been sued yet? Well, it's only going to get worse. Let me just tell you that, because you're not getting away with it. Public relations officer. Have you ever heard of it? Who among your fucking criminal gang there is assigned to public relations? What do you have to say to the public about the accusations that I've made? And I have receipts too. What do you have to say for yourselves? Nothing? Okay. Well, the point of this stream too is to my allies. I'm looking for advice, a little guidance. As to how to proceed, because I got the evidence. I beat them in court, and I'm getting ready to fire with some lawsuits and some criminal complaints. The district attorney's office. Where are you? The attorney general. I make complaints. I go up the food chain. You're all going to be you're all culpable. You're complicit. You're liable. So what's the story? They're just going to pretend this isn't happening. Oh, they're just going to stonewall. Making it worse for yourselves. You hoping I die? You're going to die before I do, motherfuckers. I'm only 48 years old. Some of you are a lot older than me. And I don't know if you're that great of health. You want to spend the rest of your miserable ass lives on trial? Well, don't come to the table then. Don't come to the table. What we got in the house? Got no thumbs up. Everybody dropped out of here. Okay. Well, sorry, got no sunshine, Maybe somebody come in here, can relate to the things I'm talking about. And this is a warning to you so-called public servants. Got two back in here. That's what I'm looking at anyways. I don't know how accurate this stuff is. Nobody ever got to you, motherfuckers, huh? The Stonewalling, no, you probably never got that far before. Probably everybody else got beaten down in your fraudulent kangaroo courts, And consent to your fraud after, repeated acts of violence, pile on more fraud and your bullshit. You can't back it up, but you don't think you need the paperwork, to act in violence. You just skip all that stuff and go straight to the violence. Well, you documented your own fraud, What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? That's what I want to know. Maybe just go through the insurance companies, see what they got to say, They'll have an investigation about it. Maybe I'll bring you all in on a RICO. How about that? Racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. That about describes perfectly what y'all are about. And then you can all start throwing each other under the bus, with the evidence you've been trying to suppress, Again, discovery. You think I can't afford it? You ever hear of a motion pauperous? Pauper's motion? Have some interrogatories. Got one in the house. Can I get a thumbs up? Oh, got 0 in the house. All right. This is great. Can I get a thumbs up from anyone jumping in and out of here? What we got in the house? Get a thumbs up. Or are you one of the pigs? If you are, time to wake up. I'm coming for you. You got a public relations officer? Yeah, what do you got to say? What do you got to say about the accusations that have been made? That I got receipts for? What do you got to say for yourselves? Can I get a thumbs up? Or is this thing just not showing them? Somebody's jumping in and out of here from what I can see anyways. Looking for a little feedback from the enemy or from my allies. If I have any. Has anyone been here facing similar problems? Got some words of wisdom, or what do we got to say? Who we got from the pig empire? Anyone want to defend themselves? Representatives of the pig empire? Motherfuckers want to act like, oh, you're all these, individual, organizations, just helping each other out, when they cry for help. Bullshit. I got more than enough evidence, of your conspiracy. Showing up 4 or 5 different so-called agencies, to launch violent attacks against me, based upon fraudulent paperwork that never existed. They're so independent, huh? That Village of Gowanda policeman, that Village of North Collins policeman just cried for help, and there happened to be 10 Erie County Sheriff's Office deputy cars and state troopers and Gowanda police, even though they're out of their jurisdiction. And what about the fucking tow truck driver that stole my fucking motorcycle? Did you get my notice of intent to sue? Well, it was delivered to you by hand. I haven't heard nothing from you. I guess you don't care. Maybe you want it to be exposed that you're not even a tow truck company. Your license says an ATV dealership. What about that? Why is that? Oh, is it cheaper or something? Is it easier for you to commit fraud with these fucking police agencies as an ATV dealership than a verified tow company? Huh? Did you really need to take my motorcycle? What'd you get for it in scrap? Pretty sure I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if there's a lot of motorcycles like that out there with new tires on them. 1982 Yamaha Virago. But yeah, how much you sons of bitches make off of that? You think it's going to be worth it? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Why don't you come steal some more of my shit? My fucking van's broke down in my truck. I dare you. I fucking dare you. Fucking with that state trooper bitch that was sitting up at the fucking fire hall yesterday. The fuck you doing on the block, bitch? Huh? Yeah? You look a little fatter than the fucking bitch from the state troopers that was trying to ride me like she was on a fucking rodeo. But you're sitting up there fucking chewing fucking bubble gum waiting to pick somebody off because it's a 45 mile per hour speed limit. Get the fuck off the block. What's up with you fucking Seneca Nation marshals driving down the street every fucking day? You got no fucking jurisdiction here. Well, what business do you have that couldn't be done with a fucking phone call? Huh? Or a fucking email? driving up the street every fucking day. Get the fuck off the block, motherfuckers. I ain't scared of y'all. Erie County Sheriff's Office, you got 1,400 so-called employees of that criminal corporation. Where's the public relations officer? You know, the professional standards division never answers the phone. That's real professional. You know, what do you have to say for yourselves? You want to, you want to bow out? Make me an offer. You'll be covered by your insurance, or you keep trying to stonewall. That's your only strategy is to stonewall. It's gonna come back to haunt you. It's gonna become too late to come to the table. And they say, "Oh, you should have came and talked to us. Oh, we could have tried to work this out." Thanks for the thumbs up. I got one thumbs up. Thank you for whoever hit that thumbs up. Oh, we could have tried to work this out. Yeah, when? Come to me with an offer. The damage has been done. I got documentation of the fraud. So what's the deal? What's it going to take? Indonesia, welcome. I hope it's not as bad there as it is here. It's fucking disgusting here. It's a police state. They want to isolate me, Hope I just, sit here and, wither away and die. Well, that's not going to happen, Where's the public relations officers? What do you have to say to the public? To the people that fund your sorry asses? What do you have to say for yourselves? That's what I'd like to know. Nothing. Oh, we're not gonna say nothing. We're not gonna say nothing. We attacked this guy. Arrested him, falsely arrested him, and falsely imprisoned him 8 times. Nothing to say, huh? Well, this shit didn't hold water when I stood on my square in your fraudulent kangaroo courts. So, what do you got to say to the public? Nothing, huh? Well, that's going to look real good, when a RICO suit is brought against your asses. That's going to look real good. You concealed the evidence. Violent actions against a witness of your crimes. It's going to look real good. Y'all think you can't be touched, huh? Never been touched before. I guess that's why nobody had the balls, or you just you could intimidate them, into consenting to your fraud. It's a fucking joke, really. Your courts, all you got is the intimidation of you fat, lazy, fucking sorry ass, fucking sacks of shit, coming in there with guns and stuff. Like that's going to convince me that the shit you're coming with is real. Your threats of violence, is supposed to make up for the holes in your shit you could blow a fucking bazooka through. As Chancellor Solicitor Free Inhabitant would say, I didn't do time, no, because I didn't consent to their fraud. And I never will. I never will. But they were threatening me with like 30 years in prison if you added up all their all the threats of their bullshit. But I did enough time. I don't know. I don't even know what you call it. They said it was warrant for my arrest, bench warrants. And they take me to that fucking holding center and instead of taking me directly before a magistrate, which they're required to do, which makes it a false imprisonment right out the bat. But yeah, if you add it up, it was like 28 days, I think. I was in jail, and yeah, they got no problem kidnapping me, you know, from my house or after running me off the road on the Cattaraugus Indian Reservation, which that's a federal crime too. Crimes on Indian territory. But yeah, they get you in, just take you to the jail, languish in pretrial detention. Hopefully they can keep you in there long enough that they can sell you on giving you time served. You know, you get sent to their fraud. It's fucking bullshit. Oh, you have a warrant. You have a warrant. I don't have no fucking warrant. They're claiming to have a warrant. Well, where the fuck is it? It must be in your actual possession and to be presented. Because that's the only thing that protects you from being treated, as any other trespasser would be. And maybe nobody told you. I know you guys don't read books much and shit. Maybe you should hit the library instead of hitting your wife. And hitting the gym. Hit the library once in a while. But it's also a maxim of law that a man's never to be drugged from his home. Never. Under any circumstances. So where the fuck do you get off? Oh, we have a warrant, or you have a warrant. I don't have no fucking warrant, and neither do you. Never had a warrant. The last time you fucking kidnapped me up out of my yard, and oh, the warrant for your arrest. That warrant was from over a year ago. As fraudulent as it was in every single way, it was from over a year ago. Signed by a fucking woman who was dead. That so-called judge. Dead. She's dead. So where's the wedding signature on that? Don't you know a warrant's only good for 10 days? Nobody told you that either, huh? It's only good for 10 days. And it must be directed to a specific officer. To serve that warrant. Well, open your fucking ears, jackass. What am I yapping about? The soft hands that come and find out. Jerk off. Oh, yeah. Never worked a hard day in my life, huh? That's probably coming from a fucking pig who really never worked a day in his life. Keep talking that shit, man. If you're on their team, why don't you be a public relations officer? Huh? Is that what you got to say? You're the public relations officer? That's cute. Bravo. It's Jordan Gurin. Real impressed. Oh yeah, whatever's that supposed to mean. I hope anyone who's here. I got 5 people, 2 thumbs up. Thanks for the 2 thumbs up. Probably not this Jordan Gurin is one of them, but what's your real name, Jordan Gurin? Talk all that shit. You want to explain why they never have a real warrant? Let's talk about that. My work experience, that's none of your business. But I'm sure it's far superior to yours. 10 people in the house. All right, welcome y'all. Can I get some thumbs up, or do I got 8 pigs in here? Because I only got 2 thumbs up. You want to talk about their fake warrants? What do y'all want to talk about? Citizen Science Oral Health. All right, man. Welcome, bro. Thank you for coming in here, man. Maybe you could feel these stupid comments from this idiot in here for me. I'd appreciate it. just talking about their fake warrants, their violence, the fact that no public relations officers, trying to mitigate the damage they've caused, and what's it going to take? What's it going to take? You know. Hello, Wawa, welcome. Citizen Science Oral Health, man. What's happening with you? Wish I was up there, man, to stand ground with you on Michigan territory. You got me kind of, you know, resources very limited at this point. Military tribunals, well, I hope so. I know that's some people's hope, but I don't know. At this point in my journey, I'd say, I'm not waiting on anyone to come save me. Oh, bad tooth. I still got it, man. I failed, man. I tried pulling it, or I'll try again, but that's a tricky business, man. Yeah, it's not easy shit, man. But yeah, I canceled my medical insurance. I don't want to bore people with my health and that, but I've been on a parasite cleanse. Fuck you, Gearin, Jordan Gearin. Yeah, I was trying to pull a tooth out myself, man. I had a wisdom tooth break off. Part of it's still in there, and I was trying to pry it out of there with a plastic button, and I did get it moving. I probably should have kept going. When we get off this live, I'll try it again. It'd just be a matter of having the right tool, to grab around the edges of it, just to pry it, so you don't end up breaking off, the only part you got left to try to pry on it, if anyone's been there, but yeah. I canceled my Medicaid, my coverage. I don't want to receive any benefits and privileges. They make me subject to their statutes, rules, codes and ordinances and shit. I'd rather die with my boots on. But yeah, you go ahead and get your your inhalers and your aspirin and shit, man. Yeah, feel the need for that shit. While you're at it, go ahead and Google Greek pharmakia. If you don't know what that's about, or just keep getting your food stamps, your Medicaid and shit. Rock yourself to sleep. I don't give a fuck no more. But yeah, working on these lawsuits, seems like a waste of time. I know it's all fraud, but what else can they do? They're never gonna do the right thing. All you can do is play them against each other, and hope that they throw in the towel, save themselves. Yeah, well, in the USA, that's state of mind. I think really, you know, what is the United States of America if you know, but if we don't have the founding documents to look upon, the Constitution of the United States of America, isn't that what all these public servants swore to protect and defend? And they never even fucking read it, So it's a joke. It's a fucking joke, They got, they send all this money for you know, people to bomb each other, commit genocide and shit, but They want to cut off people's food stamps, all because everyone's got to tighten their bootstraps. Why? Because you're bankrupt. Because you're a bankrupt corporation de facto. The gold fringe around the flag. Everyone's got, oh, no more food stamps for you. People, that doesn't come from government anyways, because, people, they fail to realize that government has no money. They're merely stewards of the people's money. What does that mean? Three. Yeah, lack of health care. Yeah, well, even worse than that. They act parasites. Like, oh, they're not a thing. They're not a thing. Not in the USA. Parasites aren't a thing in the USA. Go to a doctor and tell them, you're suffering from parasites. They'll gaslight your ass. They'll write down you got a delusional parasitosis. You got a mental problem. Even faced with hard evidence. They'll gaslight your ass. How about these government schools? How about they teach people how to care for their health? Instead of being dependent on the medical industry. How about that for an idea? You got these graduates of the government schools. They get out of school. They don't know how to fix their car. They don't know how to grow their own food. They don't know how to care for their own health. They don't know how to take care of their own finances. They don't know how to deal with themselves in court. They got to go run into an attorney anytime something happens, or just roll over, and fork over the money. Yeah, well, you know what that's $3.8 billion to Israel annual. You know what that's called? Taxation without representation is what that's called. How many of you are registered to vote? Because I unregistered myself to vote about 15 years ago. That's what puts you in their little club. One of the things, they got a bunch of tricks. But that's one of the things, being registered to vote. Puts you in their little club. Because then, no matter who they put in, you consented to everything they're going to do. I'm not paying them. I don't consent. Governments were instituted amongst men, seen as a necessary evil, and deriving their just powers through the consent of the governed. And I don't consent. Anyone read the Declaration of Independence? There comes a time when for men to assume their equal and separate positions in nature. I don't need these clowns telling me what to do, selling me back my rights. Oh, cool, man. Well, I'm glad you did, man. I'm glad you're here, man. Ethan, good to see you, brother. You want to do a live stream, man? I'll jump off of here, man, and set one up. Come on panel. If you want to talk, tell us about your cannabis, oral health stuff. We've been talking about doing that for a while. I'll jump out of here, man. Set up a panel, man. Just say the word. Got 6 people in here. 4 thumbs up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me do that, man. Anybody got any questions, man, before I jump out of here? You want to join us? I'm going to come on panel with Citizen Science Oral Health. Been a long time in the makings, man. I'm pretty excited about that, actually. So, 34 minutes, that's digestible for anyone that comes back to see this after the fact. And thank you and welcome for those of you that have. And stay tuned. 5 minutes or so. Should be on panel with Citizen Science Oral Health. Stay tuned. Should be interesting.